Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm kind to everyone, but when someone is unkind to me, weak is not what you're going to remember about me.
Organized crime in America takes in over $40 billion a year and spends very little on office furniture.
Now, that is, if I recall, the great Woody Allen.
That is correct.
Ah, yes, and
You have an encyclopedic knowledge of movie quotes.
of the show we just recorded and forgot to plug in your microphone, so now re-recording.
We're redoing the whole thing. That's hilarious. Well, you're about to bugger up our intro.
Nearly fucked it up again. Yes. Now here's the good part. We have 3 rules, and oh shoot,
You really did bugger it up.
I ruined it yet again.
Hi, I'm Oscar Brown. Welcome to the show, and with me, as always, is
Sebastian Weisbach. Hello. I'm not on the top of my game today. Anyway, in this podcast, we tend to rob someone or steal something. And when it comes to stealing something, we have 3 rules we most of the time adhere to. Number 1, we always have to get away with it. Number 2, we don't kill people. And number 3, we only steal from people that deserve to be stolen from.
Those are the rules. What I really liked in that introduction version was that you said we tend to do that. The whole show is called How Do I Rob This? As if we tend to rob people, but sometimes we don't.
Yes.
Like other times we just go eat ice cream.
No, sometimes we'll just take from organizations or
That's true.
Make people rich by leaving them replicas of the Crown of Thorns.
That's true.
So just we'll have to see where the journey takes us. And at some point, it's going to take us to Elon Musk.
Oh, for sure. I cannot wait.
Every episode, I'm like, is
it time?
Is it
not
time?
Yet.
No, not yet. But
not yet. Soon.
He's such a weird man.
He really is. But today,
yes, today
please tell us. Please take me through the quiz again. What we will be stealing.
Okay. So, what has vaguely the size of a golf ball, is 90% platinum and 10% iridium?
You didn't start this the same way last time, but if I had to guess, that sounds like the kind of thing where it's like the artificial ball of some famous person, did you know that
Hitler's famous testicle?
Yeah,
the one
there
he
you
had.
go. Or that rapper who had 2 ribs removed in order to give himself a blowjob. He also had
Marilyn Manson is not a rapper.
Well, whoever it was, it depends where you grew up in the world and at what time. Then it changed who it was.
Oh,
because
so
it's not true for anyone. This never happened. It's an urban legend.
If it's true for any rapper, I would say it's Exhibit. Turning himself into one of those Pimp My Ride vehicles.
Literally turning himself into a curiosity. Which is also, that was his second choice for a rapper name.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
With a Q.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. No, but we are going to steal something that does not weigh more than a kilogram. It does not weigh less than a kilogram, but weighs precisely 1 kilogram.
It is the ITK.
IPK.
The IPK.
The international prototype of the kilogram. Stored in Paris I'm just going to read off a bit of the research I've already done. In Saint-Cloud.
Paris is in France.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know your Parises. Stored in Saint-Cloud, which seems to be near Paris at least. International prototype of the kilogram. It was built in 1889.
Yeah.
Stored under 2 or 3 glass bells. I at the moment cannot remember.
But jarry kind of.
Yeah.
Bells. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me think if it's not airtight, then I'm don't look at the bells. Don't blame them. What are you placing it on?
Ooh. Yeah, good point.
If it's just if it's a I don't know, a wooden table with lots of slits in it, then that thing ain't gonna be airtight no matter how many bells you put on it.
But the platinum is resistant to oxidation.
Resistant.
Yes, and the iridium makes it a bit harder.
Harder.
Yes.
Is it handled often? What requirements
every 40
does it need
years
to be?
Or so?
Yeah, but
it is handled.
For something that needs to be handled every 40 years, how hard and resistant does it need to be?
Well, hard and resistant enough if it is. So here's something I noted.
Yes.
Before 2019, I was right.
Before 2019,
yes.
You were right.
Because they literally had a scale
Yes.
that you would put the IPK on, and it would always say 1 kilogram.
Oh.
So that was just defined by the IPK.
Yes. I'm gonna argue my point here. I'm gonna stand by my point.
Also irrelevant for most of our listeners because they did not listen to our conversation from 10 minutes ago.
We can repeat it if you like. You can repeat your argument.
It's fine. You know, whatever you think our conversation was, that's the one.
They didn't shave pieces off until it said 1 kilogram.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what's your point then?
My point is that there's not a scale, and it's, oh no, I see now.
Yes, now you see it. Yeah, now you see that I'm right.
No, but it's always you put it on, and if it's
and then it'll be like 1.00001 kilogram. Yes. Yeah, and then they go 1 kilogram. And then they go reset.
Yes,
and then that's when it communicates with all other scales in the world. And then that is the new standard.
I love how the master scale has a reset button.
Of course, it has a reset button. That's the whole point. Like that's
but it's not the only prototype of a kilogram. There are more. They get sent out to other countries.
But they all based on that one.
So here's the thing: you would think now they would also all weigh 1 kilogram.
Oh my god!
But that's not the case. They are slightly off.
No.
And that is then taken into consideration for those national weights.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like the French kilogram,
yes,
the only true kilogram, is different to the true kilogram that the British have.
Yeah.
So
but they are obviously aware of how different it is. That's why they measure weight in stone.
But how different?
That aside,
how different? What are we talking about here? Because like if I'm baking a cake in France,
yes,
right?
No, you're still baking the same cake because even if it is 1.
Of course, I'm baking the same.
Even
cake.
if it's 1.2 kilograms. So
like 200 grams out. No, but that's incredible.
That's why it's incredibly difficult to form platinum and iridium into a golf ball sized
into a precise shape.
Yeah.
So like they set themselves like the impossible task of trying to make this. No.
So they've made it once. They said good enough. Let's see how close we can get.
It's obviously not even a kilogram. It's the size of a golf ball. Like
they threw all the tools away, and then went like, well, this is close. That's like 4 kilograms.
This is the new standard.
Yeah, but obviously, well, it might be after we steal the IPK.
That's, yeah. Like, but I mean, are we going to change everything? That would mean, setting aside complex meteorological forecasts. That's what my research.
Meteorological or metrological? Because metro that's something I stumbled across.
No.
I'm like, are they what do meteorologists have to do with that? And I'm like, oh well, maybe because Celsius also seems to be somehow in the metric measurements, even though
it is.
But why?
Well, because 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling of water. Because the kilogram used to be defined as 1 liter of water.
Yes. At 21 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. In Paris.
I reckon that would also matter because anyway.
It matters
how
high you are.
Yes.
As in
the altitude matters.
Altitude, yeah. Not like if you're P. Diddy or if you're a normal person, like.
But my point is...
Yes, I'm listening to your point. I'm
while
on board.
All other metric measurements...
Yeah.
Either length or diameter or weight...
Volt.
That's also metric? How is that metric?
It's not really metric. It falls into the SI definition, which stands for the SI base system.
That's the new system.
No,
I've been on that Wikipedia page. That's the one they implemented after 2019 when they wanted to have it all based on standards.
How come it says here there's a new SI and an old SI?
This is the show where we read off Wikipedia. I don't know. I just looked at it. I recognized the tiny.
I'm telling you more
tiny
information.
Colorful spots.
Yeah. So there's an old version and a new version.
Yes.
So it's all part of the whole system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. But there's something that really blew my mind which I was trying to research, but I couldn't find anything more about it, where it says the kilogram was the last of the SI units to be defined by a physical artifact.
Oh, I see.
Which means somewhere there's like a meter lying around. Like is that?
Yeah, no.
And somewhere there's like a second
degree Celsius.
they just have like this collection of physical objects defining it. This must be a misprint.
The second is, it's a distance, and at the start it says a fast man can run this distance in 1 second.
No, that's how the imperial system is created. and then that's not. But I don't.
That's a frog's pace.
Yes. It can't be. Like, how are you going to have a physical, like a second as a physical object?
Mm-hmm. It's a drop in vacuum.
So you're saying like,
how far can you drop the kilogram in 1 second? That's why it has to be hardened by iridium.
Because
it kept getting dropped for seconds.
And they've got some guy there who keeps turning over the bells. These glass jars with 1 kilogram in them, and they need 3 of them because like
once every second.
It also breaks a lot because it weighs 1 kilogram and it's in a glass jar.
And it's only golf ball sized, so high pressure on impact. Okay, yeah.
This is ridiculous. Okay, so they've changed something in 2019.
Yes, and
do you know anything more about that?
It's I didn't read too much into it, but it's now based on a physical constant rather than the little artifact thingy, the IPK. I don't know what the physical constant is. How far can a strong man toss?
That's the basis of the imperial system. Like they're like, no, we're going to take something that's a universal truth. We'll take the hand measurement of 1 normal man.
A strong horse walking down a dirt road at a 45-degree angle can carry precisely.
That's a physical constant?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to research that a little bit. But as you said in the previous podcast, you said this gets very technical and very difficult very quickly.
Yes, so we'll probably not explain it in detail.
Or understand it in detail, really, because that's not what we do. We're not here to understand the problem. We're just here to steal the kilogram. Give us the kilogram, leave the jars behind, wrap that shit up, give it to us. Put it in the pocket, and we get out of here.
Okay,
and give us the second. I want the second as well, and the meter. No, okay, I don't want the meter. Give me the second and the Newton. I want the Newton.
I'm interested in the volt and the degree Celsius.
Well, I'm not sure those fall into. I might have been glib about that one.
Okay, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the before podcast or
the ampere recording. Is one.
Oh, I see. That's
a Kelvin is one.
A Kelvin, yeah. Well, a Kelvin is a degree Celsius, essentially.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a different system.
No, just the scale starts differently.
No.
That you're wrong.
And a mole?
A mole, like...
Yes. And
I'm making digging motions.
No, it's the amount of substance. Like, how many moles are part of this? Like, think back to chemistry.
Oh, I was bad.
Mole sounds like molecule. Might be connected.
I think it is.
Like, of this atom, how many moles does it have?
9.
Could be. And then the candelabra. The
candelabra.
The luminous intensity. It's still measured in candles.
That can't be right.
That is right.
That's the metric version? What's the imperial version then? Cat's eyes.
Oil lamp. No, it is like when like the luminosity of a normal light bulb.
Yes.
That's measured in like how many candles one would need in order to get that.
That sounds extremely imperial.
It's the truth though.
Lumen.
Yeah.
Lumen is the measurement.
Yeah, luminous intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is by a candela. I'm going to look this up.
Candela. Also a fun unit of measurement if you want to show off is the alba.
A common wax candle emits light with a luminous intensity of roughly 1 candela.
I refuse. That needs to go. So that can't be the metric system.
So standing there's these 3 bells, right, with the kilogram in there.
Yes.
Next to that there's the second, right? And then 1 over from the meter is a candle. one simple wax candle.
I would imagine the
Burning.
entire room is lit by perfect candles.
No, because that would be too much luminosity.
right.
It has to be one lumos.
You're right, yes. Which is good. That would really aid us because no one will
No
see
one
our
can see us
crime.
coming because it's
We'll just blow out the candle.
also under. Well, it couldn't be because it needs oxygen.
That's the final flaw.
Well, I
in
mean,
the
how does
system.
someone get in there? I mean, that candle needs to be replaced on a regular
Yes.
basis.
No, just a wax maker just keeps replacing it from the bottom.
Oh, they've just got like an 11-year-old child, like
Yes.
he's sitting at a dinner table, really bored with his parents' conversation,
At the speed of the candle burning down.
and he keeps adding it to the top.
That would also be a good startup. One that sort of has the dripping wax, remelt into the candle from the bottom and push it up.
Yes,
I mean, a good startup for the Middle Ages when candles,
when candles were all
luxury.
the big
But,
thing.
So anyway, I don't know if I mentioned this on this podcast, the one we actually record and keep. There are 3 independently controlled keys needed to access the vault.
Yes, you said there's
Yeah.
there's 3 doors and 3 independent keys.
Or 1 door with 3 locks.
Oh, well, what is it?
Or 2 doors,
Do
one
we
with
know?
2 locks, one with a single lock.
That's
I can keep
ridiculous.
going.
Yes, I understand. But basically, we need to get those 3 keys.
Yes.
Are they physical keys? Or is like one a
you
key
mean
code?
Yeah, there's like the
Or one's
like,
the standard measurement of a key?
like a Dan Brown story. One is a piano key.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's actually an escape room.
You know what? That would be a good escape
It would
room.
be a great escape
You're
room.
stuck in the metric room.
No, you have to get in.
Mm.
You have to get the kilogram. And
It's
there's
not
all
what
these
escape
other things.
means.
No, well, I mean, but there's lots of definitions of escape. But I've really stretched it this time.
It's true. You need, in order to use like an ancient Maya mechanism,
Yes.
you need precisely 1 kilogram.
Yeah. Precisely.
Precisely.
But you might have to shave bits of it off because when the Mayans defined 1 kilogram,
Yeah.
5,000 years ago at the dawn of man, together with Elrond, like they it changed.
Yes.
It's 0.2 grams plus minus because the
I
gram
would say
also changed.
plus.
More? You think it's
Over
changed?
5,000 years, more than 0.2 grams. Yes,
I'm going to look
easily.
up this calculation.
Okay.
I mean, what?
How?
Like, is it the same?
How?
I'm going to understand the maths behind it. Is there?
What are you even looking for?
I'm going to be like,
How much weight? Just hit into Google. How much weight does a 90% platinum, 10% iridium golf ball lose over 5,000 years?
There's an answer to this.
I'm
it has to
certain there is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we can find it.
Of course we can. Give me one research break. 15 years later.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Shall we
Where
go
do we
into
get
research?
stuck? I think we need to go into a research
Yes.
break because we've got a lot of disagreements.
We got stuck halfway through our first research break. Then I fixed the technical issues that were all on me. Then we redid. We were like very fine, like 2 hours. One of our longest episodes.
Well, yeah, exactly. A 4-hour episode. It was just the introduction. So tell me, why do these gentlemen deserve to be stolen from?
Oh, it's a French society formed in the 19th century. The building is
Say no more. I mean,
they're French.
did anything? Anything started around that time?
Yes, in Europe.
In Europe, is anything positive that comes from that time?
I'm struggling to think of anything. The building they're in at the moment was built by Louis XIV.
Also, another
So,
moral institution.
Certainly, if you
Yeah.
are into powdering. Are you also getting online ads that
For
are
powdering my
weird?
wigs?
No, your
Where are you going
balls.
with this? No.
So there's this. Okay.
No.
I'm just gonna quickly interrupt this.
This
Because-
podcast has been sponsored by...
Certain online ads I find are borderline heists because they essentially claim items to do stuff they cannot. It's like wish.com. So anyway, I've been targeted by these online ads with a man wearing nothing but a towel standing in a tub, and it provocatively asks, Are you still powdering your balls? And then you see this man powdering his balls, spreading powder all across the bathroom.
Wait, what's the alternative? I need to know.
The alternative, apparently, is an electric razor to shave your balls. I'm not sure how the powder helps in the shaving process.
What?
It's absolutely bizarre. It had never occurred to me before to powder my balls. Oh, right, and then it says
it gets even better.
Stop smelly balls.
Yes, I mean
but
all about it. But with
wash
baby powder,
them.
yeah, washing is a great technique. But you could also powder them.
So I'm not. So I think the instinct that these people want to incite in the viewers is like, I don't powder my balls. But maybe I should.
Oh, so it's like a reverse technology?
Yeah, but then again, it seems easier to just order the electric razor because I know how to handle one.
That's what you think. If you Google, there'll be at least 15 razor companies out there. But I bet you there's only one that's offering ball powder. Like, ball powder. Like, do it the way your grandpa did it.
It's also, might I add, it's a specialized electric razor. That it somehow retracts its blades.
So that you don't shave your balls off?
Yeah. Not that it's bizarre. I'll try and get that ad.
I need to go do a research break. Yeah. For kilogram stuff.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is sponsored by Ball Powder. Ball powder. Are you still powdering your balls? If not, get into it. Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I have a few marvelous quotes on the kilogram.
Oh, please tell me.
So, something they found out over the past few years. It's also called le grand cas.
What, the kilogram?
Yes.
Okay.
Locally.
It's
a bit of a
in that
bit of a thing in Paris.
That small thing of Paris, they all talk about it. Le grand cas.
Le grand cas.
Is that the big K?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like those Kellogg's cornflakes. Special K. Le grand cas has proved this point itself, although the kilogram is made of one of the most stable alloys known to science and treated with reverential care. It has sat undisturbed in the same location for almost its entire life, encased in a trio of vacuum-sealed bell jars. It has also, inexplicably, been losing weight.
Yes.
That's The Verge. A couple of years back, it wasn't clear yet if the IPK had lost weight or if the other references had gained weight.
Oh, interesting.
But this article makes it sound as though that has been cleared up. And also I know how the new definition of a kilogram works.
Please tell me. I'm so excited.
I mean, ish.
Okay.
It's defined by the Planck's constant.
Yes.
Which is the smallest action taken by a photon. I do not know how that could in any way lead you to a kilogram.
Well,
if you turn the light switch on and off a couple of times at 5 candelas.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
But they did also have a physical reference for a candela.
Yeah, it's a
what is it?
Burning iridium or burning something.
What
did you have?
Nothing. I was just curious.
Oh, they do. Yeah. It's well, they've defined it. They've recently redefined it. But basically, it was the amount of light given by burning pure spermaceti within X amount of time.
I see. Yeah, that makes very little sense to me.
Yeah.
But, okay.
And then
fine,
for the
whatever.
second, by the way, it's quite a simple answer. There's a second pendulum. Which will be hard to steal because you knock it around backwards and forwards a bit. Like you're not going to have a second pendulum anymore. Yeah.
But was the first pendulum?
Yeah, good one. It actually
Thank you.
It pendles for 2 seconds. So
okay.
Yeah, so that each time it reaches the middle, that's 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You sound very, but I
Yeah.
couldn't find anything
It's
about
it's underwhelming.
about the ampere.
The ampere is defined by the kilogram.
Yes. So they've used that as the new basis to define everything.
Yeah, no, but the ampere depends on the newton, and the newton is the amount of force it takes to move a kilogram by 1 meter
Right.
in vacuum.
Right.
So that's all like the kilogram. That's the reference.
Right, and all of these
Yep.
are reasons why we are allowed to and can and should steal this thing. In fact, just to sort of help out. I did some reading about the metrification.
Yes.
The process by which, since about 1870, when these SI units were first defined, when countries started adopting these metric systems, and it's quite fun. Of course,
The US never.
The US, surprisingly, there's two countries who've really struggled. There's the US and then there's the United Kingdom, where there's still lots of things.
Yeah.
But even in Germany, we still have a lot of things that we struggle with. For example, we still call a pound of flour or a pound of
Yes.
meat. Like, we still use that.
But like the German pound is half a kilogram though.
Yeah, but we still use the word.
Yes.
Then
Not,
there's
not like 5 good old thumbs of flour.
There's a couple of funny incidents that happened. Basically, when international companies started working together, like there was a famous interest.
The Mars satellite.
The Mars satellite,
Yeah.
exactly, and then there was the Flying Gimli, which was a Air Canada aeroplane, which basically they only filled it up, with a couple of liters and sent it on its way, saying, it's filled up, and basically, they didn't put enough gallons in it or whatever.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the thing about the Mars incident was they converted back twice.
That's ridiculous.
That's how they came to the wrong numbers, and no one sort of double checked. I reckon it all still looked fine. So yeah, and then a few billion euros, dollars, whatever, burned up in the atmosphere of Mars.
Yeah, well, I mean, the metric system just makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah.
When I just look at it, I'm like, intrinsically, this makes sense.
There's this weird half meme, half joke online where it's if you ever have to remember how many feet are in a mile, just remember the word tomato, because it's 2850, I think, or something like that. And I'm like,
how complex can you make it?
Yes, and why? Also, why? How there's no constant in there. It's I don't know how many feet are a yard and how many yards
hang
are
onto it? Like, because it's so complex. Like, why then? Like, why be like, no, we like this one better instead of this other system, which just intrinsically makes sense
and is used by the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I recently saw something on this. This is also how I got to the IBK today. There doesn't seem to be a study that proves the economical benefits of changing to the metric system.
Oh my god.
So it's been blocked, unsurprisingly, mostly by the Republicans in the US.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And it's just. They all seem so oddly proud. Then they all seem to believe, well, then they have to learn a new system, as though learning the metric system wouldn't just take a minute.
Yeah, it really does. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know what they think. They're like, oh no, we don't learn new systems. It's like, but wait, aren't there any rules? So how can it be? Like, there must be exceptions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's
okay, so
very, very bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just super fucking weird. And again, like, whenever you read something like I can never remember how high I am in feet.
Yeah, I only know it by remembering it.
10?
Yeah, I'm 6'1".
Yeah, that makes sense.
But also that makes no sense.
Yeah, no, of course.
Like, why measure it in feet? Now that I have a boat, and in common boat parlance, you always measure boats in feet. Now everything I always judge it by the boat. Which is exactly 27 foot. So I always go like, oh, that's about half a boat. So, and that's how I can now break things down into feet. So it's my height and the boat, and then that's it.
How many hands reach your shoulders?
I haven't checked that. And no, I'm not going to, let's not have the hands discussion again. Yes.
Anyway,
back to stealing this thing.
So it actually is in Paris. I just for a second there, I thought I would have made a fool of myself, but it is in Paris. It's in Sèvres, and it's like they want to be stolen from.
Why is it on the river?
Very near.
Oh, great! Love it.
It oversees the Seine. It's near a bridge. It's near a main street.
Mm-hmm.
It's very accessible. It's in a park.
It's in a park. What do you mean it's in a park?
It's like there's a green spot near the Seine. It's again, it was built by Louis XIV,
right?
So it's just like some palatial
So
residence.
He likes gardens.
Yeah,
and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So
we need somewhere to put the kilogram. And he's like, well, do we need a big palace? Do we need a small palace?
That wasn't a thing then.
Oh, it wasn't a thing yet.
The kilogram, I'm quoting an article by The Verge.
Yeah.
Came about in the French Revolution. At this time, the ideology of liberté, égalité, and fraternité was embraced not just by revolutionaries, but by scientists as well. The metric system was created with the intention of liberating the common man and woman from the confusing and inconsistent weights and measures of the ancient regime. It was a utopian project.
I totally agree. Also, by saying like 1 foot is probably defined by, the foot size of King
It
Louis.
was literally like a king's foot, the unit then.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is a lot more egalitarian. Another reason.
Yes.
God, can you imagine they had to redefine it every time there was like a new American president? Then you need to redefine the size of the feet.
It's that, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, it absolutely would not. But there's still sort of remnants of that lingering in football.
Are they?
Like the goal, even in volleyball.
Oh yeah.
Like those are still yards, essentially. I think
okay.
the F meter that should be 10 yards.
Yeah, it's certainly not 11 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's stuff like that in the goalposts are like a couple of yards of height. Like it makes more sense if you read it in yard and feet.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, we
keep getting
distracted.
Tell me more about that.
So yeah, the building itself very accessible. It is in the basement. I could not find any information on who holds the 3 keys, but it is 3 different people, as one would
3
presume.
Different people.
Yes.
Have they had any incidents of people trying to steal it before?
Not that I could find. But every few years or so, they have to bring in national prototypes to weigh them against the IPK. I mean, at least they did have to before.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But they might out of tradition.
Just to bring them in. They actually... I apologize. They actually might. Just to sort of trace the decay of the IPK. Because I
think so. That is interesting as well.
And if they don't do it, well, maybe we should.
Well, I think so. I mean, that would be the reason why we do it, right?
Yeah.
I haven't looked that up yet. The decay of the IPK, because I wanted to work that out, right?
Oh yes, how much weight is losing? But if that were our science project,
yes.
Do you think that's a way we could get ourselves into the International Bureau of Weights and Measures?
Our science project? I mean, like, we're not 11.
No, we're posing as scientists.
We're posing as scientists.
Yes.
We know astoundingly little about this.
As I think we have proven throughout the show.
Very much so. So if we arrive there with the current knowledge that we have...
we want to measure decay over 5,000 years.
Of things. Yes. Of the kilogram IPK. And they're like, yeah, sure. Come inside. No problem. No, I think it'd be easier if we had... if we were 11-year-old children, I think they would let them in.
Yes.
Or if we had 11-year-old children, where does one get an 11-year-old child?
Okay, so first of all, when a man loves a woman...
Right. Is this defined by an international standard?
1 candela is needed. We could steal children, borrow them.
Yeah, they don't deserve to be stolen from. Yeah,
now that gets us into Epstein, Gizwell territory.
Different podcast there. So, the other way of getting in, is it magnetic?
Platinum.
I mean, could we just like stand outside with like a really big ass electromagnet and just suck that thing all the way to us?
I want to go out on a limb and say no.
I guess it would also attract everything else that's metal. But that'd be fun.
Yes. That might be a good distraction, just having a huge electromagnet on the Seine.
Well, classic question. Do they do tours?
I don't think so. I didn't look it up, but
You know, tours, like, you must be able to go and see the kilogram. Like, there must be people who are interested. If they don't, then there must be. Then they will let us in because, like, then not enough people are interested in this. Like, we'll be like, we have come from very far away in order to view your kilogram.
we brought our own fan scales.
Our own fan scales. Oh my word! We brought our own kilogram that we
Yes.
would like to measure against this kilogram. In fact, we've brought multiple.
Do you think, because something I looked into, there are national prototypes, but there are also non-national prototypes, which are just held by organizations for whatever reason. Like, I think I
Okay.
wrote something down
Wait. I think I have
for
it.
that. Yes.
Okay, we pose as Americans, right? And we've
Beautiful.
We've
Yes.
come from the American Weights Organization, and we are there to figure out. We've brought our 1 pound
We're the AWO.
with the
Yes.
AWO, and we're trying to figure out how much of the pound we need to shave off or add in order to get to 1 kilogram. And the amount that we would then remove
Yes.
will be the basis of a new system. The difference.
More complex.
We're calling it the differential system
the differential system, yes.
that we will be introducing in the States. And afterwards, with the help of Trump, Supreme Senator Trump,
Yes.
will be rolling out to the rest of the world.
I actually like that idea. Yes. I think, A, we can pass that. B, that's an idea so stupid that the French would totally understand that Americans will try to.
They'd be like, oh,
yeah,
fuck's
sure.
sake,
Don't
it's the
adapt the metric
Americans.
system, but go
Yeah.
for something else altogether. Yeah,
it's a
fine.
new system.
Fuck it. Sure, come in.
inside, yeah. So, and
Measure your dumb golf ball, whatever it is.
we've bring. Oh shit! But it should be an actual golf ball.
Half a
Wait,
golf ball.
could
though.
it be? Could it be a Trump-shaped ball, like just his face, like,
Certainly.
or we shave it into his face while we're there.
Something I recently saw is there's a teddy bear in Trump's likeness called Trumpy the Bear, which is
How much does it weigh?
merchandise. Yeah, roughly a kilogram, I would reckon. No, I don't know. But so there is certainly Trump merchandise. It would surprise me. It would surprise me if we couldn't find like a little action doll.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to find out. I guess in order to make it clear, we need to find out how to buy or make our own metal alloy.
Yes. How much platinum and iridium we need?
Exactly. Well, 90%, 10%.
Yes. Yeah, but
How much do we need? We need
how much do we have to pay for?
1 pound is less than a kilogram, right?
Yes, I think it's 2.24 pounds in a
All right,
kilogram.
okay.
It's something like that. So I kind of sort of have this vague recollection that the weights in the gym, the 10 kilograms are 22 pounds, I think.
Okay.
So it's something along those lines.
There's a couple of other remnants of the imperial system that still follow us. Like, for example, all the connecting bits for microphones and cameras onto tripods.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
are all
they're-
in inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half inch and 3/4
Yeah, exactly.
inch.
Very
Yeah.
annoying.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh.
Well, I mean, not that there's an alternative. So, like you always say,
No,
Like,
I mean, they are standardized now, but
pixels per inch.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a remnant of the ancient days when we still used to count all pixels per inch.
There's something, I'm not sure if that is true. That's rockets, the propulsion rockets that go into space,
Yes.
they are as wide as they are because they still have to fit on train tracks for transport. Those train tracks are still remnants from ancient Roman times, from ancient Roman roads.
No.
I mean, not that they built the train tracks, but
The
the distance
that they
between the
use
tracks,
them?
yeah. That's 2 horses.
Oh, interesting.
Comfortable
know-
distance for 2 horses
I know
and 2
this
wagons
was
to pass.
one of the reasons why the German invasion of Russia really hit a snag, because the gauge, that's what they call
Yeah.
it, was different in Russia than it was on the German track. So they basically they didn't bring an adapter along.
Yeah, no.
So they had to send someone.
If you can't convert your tanks.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
they had to send someone back on a horse to go get an adapter.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the reason why it all fell apart.
Funny though, because
it's the reason why we're speaking English right now.
Literally one of those weird things in warfare, like you transport tanks on a train.
Yeah.
That would really stop you, no pun intended, dead in your tracks.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll buy that.
Yes.
Find out how many pounds are in a kilogram.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
So are we going to arrive with 1 pound, or we're going to arrive with like 5 pounds and we're cutting that down?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
We'll bring like 5 pounds because we're not sure how heavy a kilogram is. Could be whatever.
Well, put it this way.
Yes.
Let's find out what the price of it is first. Because maybe we're only going to arrive with 1 pound.
Okay, but I was just thinking for a brief moment, if we bring a duffel bag of pounds.
Yes.
And just sort of drop them and just willy-nilly handle them as we chafe them into position.
Yeah.
I think that would also buy as a huge distraction.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, okay. Let's go
we
on a
should
research
have
break.
We should have little differential amounts.
Yes.
Like that we've already measured, so we know how much it is, and that little mementos, like little paperweights, that we give away as presents to all of them to really annoy them, like for the new differential system.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be like 1 differential Troy. Or like it'll be 1 unit of Trump.
1 unit of Trump sounds incredibly dirty.
Well, I mean, I mean that's the whole thing with
1
Trump.
nugget.
Like you don't know how much. Like when you hear anything about Trump, whenever I read an article, I don't know if it's news or satire. And when I hear this, like that Trump is going to create his own new differential weight measurement system, like I don't know if it's truth or satire. Did you read that? Did you read that thing about the shower? And like him wanting to like basically change how much water pressure can.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same vein of.
Did he want to add water pressure?
A lot more. Like he wanted to basically.
So he can shower your skin off.
Well, he says it's for his hair because his hair needs to be perfect.
Well, it's not.
Well, yeah.
And it never has been.
And do you know why? Because he's not getting enough water pressure.
Yes.
But basically, he wants to change it in Congress for all of America so that he can get more water pressure in the White House. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I know. It's the thing is, like, there's just so much. So like, nothing at this point would surprise me. He goes on interview, that was last week from our point of recording, saying he essentially wants to sabotage the post office to cheat in the election.
Yes. Yeah, he says this. It's ridiculous. So this will work. This plan will work
100%.
because this French institute will listen to this and they'll be like, yeah, of course this is the plan.
And normally I'd be worried about our American accents, but as they are French, I'll just be like, oh,
yeah,
whatever, fuck you.
We'll be back from the research break with our American accents.
Okay, what are you looking at? The price of platinum?
No, I'm going to look at the decay of international prototype kilogram.
Then I'll look at the platinum ring. Okay. Oh, still recording again. Come on, Fred, sketch. Hello there, cowboy. We're back from our research break.
And we've been looking into something called a kilogram.
Also, I didn't start the camera, but no one's watching us on YouTube, even though you should, because we're two handsome fellas.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to keep that up for very long. In French, I will be able to.
In French?
Yeah.
What's your French?
I mean, when we're in France, sorry.
Oh, I see.
In France, yeah.
I was like, what does your American accent sound like in French?
Well, that'd be pretty good. Like, okay, can you do a French accent right now?
You mean a French accent in English? Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, now do an American doing a French accent.
Oh, I eat frog.
That's pretty good.
Spot on.
Yeah, spot on. That's perfect. We're going to be great.
Yeah.
We're going to be very, very good. So I've now understood the new method of measuring the kilogram.
It's good. We're only like 45 minutes into the heist, not counting the 10 minutes we recorded without our microphones on.
So it was impossible to know whether the old kilogram was getting lighter,
yes,
or the other one's getting heavier.
Yes.
It was impossible to know. basically it was also irrelevant because even if that one was getting lighter, that would be the new constant, and everyone else needed to adjust. So basically, they've now put it down into constants. So the one way of measuring it is a mathematical formula, where they basically taken gravitational force and something called Planck's constant, and plugged it all into a formula and worked out how much
Planck's constant is the smallest action taken by a photon.
Yes. There you
and
go.
Photons are very small.
Yes.
So very, very small action.
Thousands of little photos. The other method of doing it is actually quite exciting, I think. So it's where you take another object and then you measure that. So you take a perfect sphere of crystalline silicon 28. And this is based on...
I'm sure I have one lying around here.
Yes, well, this is based on Avogadro's number, Avogadro's constant, which basically defines the number of atoms in a mole in order to be 1 kilogram. So basically what you do is you take a perfect sphere of crystalline silicon and then
Wouldn't you have to count the atoms?
And then you count the atoms.
That seems like an overly long process.
It is. The number's huge. It's over many.
How would you mark the atoms you've already counted?
It doesn't matter because it's a theory. But basically, with these two combined, where they basically work it out on paper and then they do the other one theoretically, they've worked it out.
I'm actually going to have to say the IPK sounds more reasonable now.
It does sound more reasonable,
even if it's losing weight.
Yeah.
It sounds more reasonable in its light speed.
Oh, and the change in weight is 2 micrograms over the last 100 years.
That's
which is
fine.
It's the weight of half a grain of salt.
I can live with that.
Yes, especially in baking, it's fine. But in more complex calculations,
like baking a very complex cake, like a wedding cake.
Exactly. You don't. I mean, imagine you get like a wedding cake that's 2 micrograms too salty.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the difference between a Michelin star and no Michelin star.
The famous measurement of the international prototype of Michelin stars.
Yes, there we go. Tell me how much money we're going to lose.
Well, it kind of depends on what we're doing.
Yes.
So, if we are to build our own prototype and replace that with the actual one, so just the pure material cost is €16,569.50.
So 16,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Not taking into account that we can't combine platinum and iridium.
What do you mean? You can't do that in like a pan
in
the
their
kitchen?
solid state?
Oh, balls.
Even if we could melt it down in a pan, bear in mind that has to be a very hot pan.
So whatever.
How do we
put it on 11, it'll be fine.
How do we remove it from the pan?
Oh, we'd need to pour it into something.
Yes. But all of it to make sure it's 1 kilo. So anyway, if we are
how did they do it in the first time round? This does sound like a complicated process.
I'm sure they have more specialized equipment than pans and ovens.
But if you boil it down, that is what it is. What they have. And then they'll have some sort of like form that you pour it into.
How did they do it the first time?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to...
Like we were joking earlier where we were like, whatever, it's 4 kilograms, but like we'll just say it's 1 kilogram. It's probably nowhere near a kilogram. They probably took the most accurate, electric scale that they could find on the market at that point.
In the market of the 19th century.
Yeah.
Of the 1870s.
So the choices were limited.
Not a very accurate electric scale. The choices were limited,
exactly, yeah.
Also, they didn't have standards or ampere.
Yeah, so they just used whatever. They used like one where you stand on and you add weights, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then they got to roughly a kilogram. And then they probably shaved off the little nub at the end where you poured it in, filed it down, flexed it off.
Yeah.
And then they got some sandpaper to make it look shiny.
But then you flex a bit off. How do you get back to a perfect cylinder?
That's
a long
sandpaper.
Process. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You get sandpaper for alloys, right?
Yeah, sure.
For the hardest alloys in the world. Because I'm assuming it's shiny.
Have you not seen a picture?
No. You've looked at pictures?
Looks very dull, actually.
Really? That's a bit disappointing.
So yeah. Anyway, we can reconstruct one. That's one option, or several, because we wanna get the weight of
looks cool,
an
man.
imperial pound. We're just looking at the 3 glass bells.
That looks very cool. I love it. It also looks like a very complex bong. Like, it looks like... if we can steal that whole setup, then we can sell it to Seth Rogen. Like,
maybe it's actually easier to just take the entire setup.
Yeah.
And then just sort of walk out as
just
though we're stealing expensive cheese.
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, it's not that heavy, so...
No. 1 kilogram plus a little bit, plus a couple of glass jars. Yeah. Like, I've carried some vases around in my time. Yeah,
it's going to be fine.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, and it should be like...
I mean, how much does a vacuum weigh?
Good point. That should do the carrying for us. I've looked into, among other things, if we pose as the Trump Bureau of Weights and Measurements,
yes,
we might as well measure everything in golf balls.
Yes.
Because I feel like that would be the new standardized unit in the differential system.
I think so.
So it's not as pricey as building our own kilogram.
Oh, so we'll just measure everything in golf balls.
Yeah. Golf pounds.
No,
one golf ball is 1 golf pound.
1 golf ball is equal to 1 T? 1 T unit?
1 T. 1 T unit. But 2 T's equal 3 golf balls.
Yeah.
It's a very complex system.
Absolutely, yeah. And then how much do you need to put together? Like, how many T's do you need to put together 1 Trump?
What's a number he would like?
69.
1945.
Yeah, there we go.
1960. Yeah, no. Yeah, well, anything goes. So if we could just get some silver spray paint and golf balls.
Oh, that'll look great.
Significantly cheaper.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Also far more annoying for the French.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've just gotten the 3 people who have the 3 keys to the vault. They were kind enough to open the doors for us.
Well, they'll be opening us up. They'll be like,
yeah.
Well, thank God you're finally here. And then only once we're inside do we tell them that we'll tell them the new plan. Oh, there we go. We'll tell them we're going to change the American system. Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, oh, sacre bleu, thank God they're switching over to the metric system.
Oh, so yeah.
And that's how we get in.
So I would say we walk in with our new differential system.
Yeah.
And then we are completely enlightened as we see the kilogram.
Yes.
As though it's been brought to us by gospel. We finally realize now the metric system is the superior one.
Yes.
We'll convert the US.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we do a classic, how do I rob this?
Switcheroo.
Not a switcheroo, a distractoroo.
Mm.
We drop all the T units, hundreds of them, as they go bouncing around. And we're like, oh no, the T units. And then the 3 people with the keys.
They'll be slipping and sliding like mad.
Slipping and like
because they are French
up.
Comedians.
Yes, they are as well. It's Gerard Depardieu, Vincent Cassel, and Thierry Henry. And the 3 of them...
It would be amazing if it were those 3, though.
It would be amazing. That would be a fantastic combination. They're busy gathering up all the silver-painted golf balls, and we basically just wheel out the 1 kilogram super bong, and then we
guys, it's super late, so we'd better hit the roads. Kind of want to
get out of
traffic.
Yeah,
got a plane going.
Yeah. And then we just we get out of there.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the idea of selling it to Seth Rogen?
Perfectly agreeable. Seth Rogen seems like an okay dude. High all the time, but other than that,
we could also sell it to, talking about high all the time. Mm-hmm. We could also sell it to
Elon Musk.
Exactly. It could be our in for the next. Like, we could just remember that. Like, at some point we were like, yeah, look, we need to do some repairs on your bong.
Should we? So I was thinking, while we're melting platinum and iridium
in your kitchen.
Yes. I mean, clearly this will be a big heist. This will be all over the news.
Yeah.
So instead of spending 16,000 on an actual kilogram of platinum and iridium. We spent maybe half on 500 grams, roughly.
Yeah.
We'll say we stole the original. No, wait. We need to reconstruct 1 pound imperial
Yes.
precisely.
Yes.
We'll say, well, we stole the original kilogram,
Yes.
but we have a bombshell to drop.
We replaced it with a pound.
No, it actually weighs 1 pound imperial. And we can prove it because we have the prototype.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah.
Drive the world insane.
That really would.
Sell that to Elon Musk.
Yes. I think that's it would be ever known as the how do I rob this conundrum? The physical conundrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been getting lighter, so
yeah, that's true.
it's not out of the question. It's
No, it isn't.
It's 1
Yeah.
pounder. Yeah, I would say this heist is
This heist
solved.
has been solved. It's great. It's got nice elements of
us losing our minds over our
yeah.
incapability to grasp
Yeah.
basic physics.
That
like
as
the Planck
well, but
constant.
it's got some classic how do I rob this elements. You know, lots of golf balls everywhere.
Yeah.
Fooling the world, really. Pissing all over Trump and his administration. Love it. It's always a
Well,
definitely.
Only 4 more years.
Yeah.
And then 4 more years after that. And after that.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think this heist is solved, and also considering the cost, it's roughly 8,000 for a pound imperial. It's €1 per golf ball, and flights back and forth are like 800 euros.
Yeah. That'd be great.
So yeah,
Sounds
sounds
good.
like a fairly reasonable heist. Then that was our episode 24.
Episode 24.
Of How Do I Rob
Congratulations.
This?
2 years of How Do I Rob This.
Oh, well, we recorded a double episode on the first weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost. We are approaching.
Yeah,
2
almost
years.
2 years. Yeah, okay.
24 feels very Christmassy though.
It does.
But so will 25 next month.
Special episode.
Yeah, we have episodes coming out. I want to say on the 7th of every month, but
Yeah, but
we've been
not
very
always,
negligent. So we'll try and get back into our jam once the world's no longer in pieces, if that ever happens.
yeah.
You can find us at How Do I Rob This on all social media platforms. We are How Do I Rob This on Facebook. We are How Do I Rob This on all podcasting apps.
Do we have an Instagram?
Yeah, we have an Instagram.
Oh, cool.
I'll post something.
Nice.
You know what? Actually, no, I don't have my phone. I was going to take a picture, but yeah, we are How Do I Rob This. You are,
I am the Oscar Brown on all social media.
and I am at SM Weisbach on all social media. And yeah, I think that's.
I hope this episode does not rest heavily in your hearts.
Oh, also, yeah, I didn't mention that, but the title I had in mind was The Way to the World.
I like that.
Thank you. Very poetic. Yeah, well, you'll listen to us next month, or you'll see us next month, or maybe you know us personally. Send us a message, tweet to us. We are always welcoming feedback.
And suggestions and ideas
Yep.
for things to rub.
So, social
Thank
media
you.
engagement, it helps, apparently. Who knows?
And good night.
Good night.
That was a good topic. Well done.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave this cable here again.
Yes, good. Is that another cable? No, yeah,
No, I've got the other one now.
I watched this video and was like, oh, this sounds like more fun than what I had in
Then
mind.
the other one. Well, we can do the other one next week.
Uh,
No, next week it's me again. Damn. Then I need
next week, okay.
What? No, next month.
Oh.
We don't do it that often.
Yeah, no, but
But what?
we are slowly approaching
The new month?
September 7th. So yeah.
I know.
On the call sheet for tomorrow, this evening. Until I asked, I didn't know I had to go to Babelsberg tomorrow. So you win some, you lose some. Bum, bum, bum.
Bin ich im Haus? Ja.
Aus dem Bild?
Ja.
Ja,
Oh Mann.
aber wir
Dieser
hören dich.
kleine Gnome wieder.
Aber wir hören dich noch.
Where do you want me to plug this thing in? Oh, look, it's my old cable.
Yes.
Amazing. I have two.
And that's new information to me as well.
Didn't know that.
Um,
What happened to your other non-handheld mic?
I didn't try fixing it. So I don't know. It's like it seems to be something with the drivers because I've had a few Mac updates ever since we recorded on a 2 microphone setup via USB. So, and this is the only other XLR microphone I have.
Right.
So for now, I'll pitch myself out as well. I need to get my quote. Oh boy, I'm done. Okay. All right. And we are live in 3, 2, 1. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm kind to everyone, but when someone is unkind to me, weak is not what you are going to remember about me.
Organized crime in America takes in over $40 billion a year and spends very little on office furniture.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, this also an Al Capone quote?
No, it's Woody Allen.
Ah, I see. Well, I mean...
Yours is an Al Capone?
Al Capone.
The classic Al Capone?
As portrayed by Al Cappuccino.
Love it.
Yes, and that's welcome to How Do I Rob This, the podcast where we plan the perfect heist. With me, as always, is...
Oscar Brown.
And my name is Sebastian Weisbach. In this podcast, we plan to rob someone or steal something in most of the time a comedic fashion. No guarantees today. It's been a long weekend. It's extremely hot where we are.
Yeah, we've abandoned the whole idea of wearing suits while recording.
Well, we've abandoned that like a year in.
Yeah.
But I think also during like a heat wave in summer.
That's true.
If I recall correctly. And Philippe partly to blame.
He ended that. So we've got rules.
Just having a sip on my Coke. I'm sorry, very unprofessional. We have 3 rules. Number 1, we always have to get away with it. Number 2, we only steal from people that deserve to be stolen from. That's rule number 3. Oh, I ruined the dramatic arc.
And we don't kill anyone.
And we don't kill anyone.
That's okay. But I feel like you mentioned
we should mix it up a bit, yes.
That you're going to bend the rules a little bit. So I'm very interested in which rule might need to be bended.
We'll just go on a killing spree.
Yeah, I think so.
It's one of those days, isn't it? No, I in fact, I'm going to just pitch myself. We've done this in the past where we go like, well, is that really someone who does to that degree deserve to be stolen from? This time we're taking from an institution which was founded in the 19th century in Europe. So
is it the WHO?
No, it's not the WHO. Have you ever tried to gain weight?
Gain weight.
To gain weight.
Sorry, I was about to be like weight loss, but that is actually the. Is it the Weight Loss Corporation?
No, there's a weight loss corporation.
Of course, like way less.
Oh.
They're called way less. I mean, they definitely deserve to be stolen from. Like, it's one of the most ultimate pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
But
So
what will we steal
pretty good,
from
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're in the league with Tupperware and. Yeah.
Oh, they're also one of those multi-level.
Yeah,
marketing.
absolutely.
Okay.
No, so I try to gain weight.
Yes.
As in like purposefully put on more weight.
Yes.
No.
Muscle.
Oh, muscle.
Or for a roll.
No.
Okay.
Protein powder.
Protein powder. I would say kind of counts. But today we are going to gain a bit of weight. Not more than a kilogram. Not less than a kilogram.
Is it the institute that defines how much a kilogram is? Yes.
It's the Bureau for Weights and Measurements.
That's amazing.
Or the International Bureau for Weights and Measurements, I think, is their official title. They're also an institute. And they are home to the original kilogram, the IPK, International Prototype of a Kilogram.
And they basically define how much a kilogram is worth in kilogram.
That's certainly one way of putting it.
And it changes.
It did recently in 2019.
But by how much?
So I don't think the actual weight changed. Not at that time, but they replaced the prototype model with some sort of physical constant, putting it in relation with something else. I think that was their logic.
You know very little about this. They replaced something with something else?
I did some research. It gets very technical very quickly, and it's also very boring.
But from what I understood, basically, there's this, or what I've imagined, there's this kilogram block
in a vault that you need 3 separate keys to.
I love it. This is amazing.
Uh-huh.
This is exactly the kind of thing I mean. But basically, it's like a rare metal. It's one of those on those like lower element of the
I think
element list.
it's 90% palladium and 10% iridium, if I recall correctly.
Right. And
It's
basically
some weird shit,
what
yeah.
happens is because of the way the atoms interact with each other, the weight changes, and that's why they have to keep updating every year or every once in a while. They have to be like
40 years.
every 40 years.
I think it was either every 20 or every 40 years.
And
That
then,
was the
but
rhythm.
what I really want to know is like how dramatically does it change? Like, is it so bad that like the value of I don't know, like drugs like changes like from one day to the next? Like people are like, oh my god, like that's.
You go to being overweight overnight. That must be the thing for some people. So yeah, we can certainly define value by stealing the original kilogram.
That is the original kilogram.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So they use this prototype to send out regional prototypes. That's like the international model, and then they have like manufactured designs all across the globe. Awkwardly enough, also in the US, famously not a fan of the metric system.
They have one there as well.
They have 2, I think.
They have 2.
Yeah.
Why do they have 2?
They never use them. They're like,
They're not even sure what they're for. They keep getting sent these blocks, and they're like, "What does this weigh?
why do I have 2.24 pounds imperial?
Yeah. Why do you keep sending this to me? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this?
What's that in stone? How many hands is a horse?
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Why do they measure horses in hands?
Here's the weird thing. That was a question on the cash show once.
Oh yeah.
But I don't.
They
recall,
measure
I
to
don't
the
recall
the shoulder
Yeah.
blade. That I know.
Yeah, I think I did look up the trivia on this. Sounds right, and I think might be the hand of Henry VIII.
Oh yeah.
Still,
What,
something like that. It's super fucking awkward.
A horse, a kingdom for my horse.
That was Lear.
Oh well.
Um,
It was a good attempt.
was Henry VIII the one with the wives? He was, right?
Certainly one with busy hands.
Well, you know, I mean, you burn through a lot of wives if you're busy measuring horses all night long.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but that's the basic premise.
Nice.
A vault, 3 separate keys.
That sounds
3
sounds like
separate
us.
people.
It also sounds like the kind of thing where we just ordered like a whole bunch of kilograms, have it delivered.
They actually have more than 1 kilogram there.
But so we're looking for the original one.
Yeah, but that's the one in the vault. The other ones should be somewhere around the premises. Probably uses paperweights.
Well, not if it's like palladium and iridium. Like I would hope not. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if these are like reactive substances. If they like burn a hole through your desk. If
I don't think they are radioactive. I don't even think they are that valuable.
well, they just got them lying around everywhere.
Yeah.
I can tell you from Stardew Valley that iridium is very damn hard to find. That is my only touch point that I have with iridium, and I assume there's some in my phone.
That's going to be certainly. That's going to be our next episode. Robbing Jojo Martin Stardew Valley.
They definitely deserve to be
You've heard
stolen
it
from.
here first.
Right.
Okay, palladium, iridium, 1 kilogram, easy to transport. It's fairly small. It's behind under 3 glass bells.
Why?
I think to stop it from reacting with air.
Well, why 3 glass bells? Why not just build one that's like definitely airtight?
Well, sometimes you just need to take it out for a walk.
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't look into it too much.
What do they weigh it every
No.
once in a while? Like, do they have the whole thing on a scale? So that they can program the scale, and then every once in a
it
every
always
once in
says
a while-
1 kilogram.
No, it doesn't. Because
Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
You just chafe a bit off.
No,
It's still 1 kilogram.
yeah, that's not how they do it. They don't change the kilogram. Like the thing becomes heavier or lighter, I don't know. And then they reprogram the scale, and then all the scales, all electric scales in the world, they're connected to each other.
Via Bluetooth.
Yeah, not via Bluetooth, via this thing that they use to control people with the coronavirus vaccine. It's the same technology. Don't be ridiculous.
I knew it. Big pharma and big scale
Yes.
under one roof. Yeah. Okay, shall we do a research break, or are there any more open questions that I cannot answer because I didn't research that much?
No,
Okay,
not
fair
really. I mean, it's at least we know, like shipping costs and things are going to be pretty easy to calculate.
Yeah.
Or will they be?
Except we have to be in quarantine for 14 days because Paris, apparently still.
Oh, it's in Paris.
It's in Paris.
No, well,
it's near Paris.
We'll have to be in quarantine when we come back.
Yes.
Yeah, with our 1 kilogram.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Research break.